So another drop question that we had is finding the equation of a line for the following. So they give us this equation and it says it's perpendicular to that equation and also passes through the point 1, 3. Our final answer will be in the form y equals mx plus b, slope-intercept form. And when we're going about this, we want to pay very close attention to the word perpendicular. Perpendicular means opposite reciprocal, opposite sign, and reciprocal of the slope. So just so you guys can have this in your notes, this will be important whenever it comes to finding the equation of a line. Perpendicular means opposite sign. So if we have a positive number, a perpendicular slope would be a negative slope. And vice versa. If they give you a negative slope, your perpendicular slope will be positive. Opposite sign, and also reciprocal. Reciprocal means to flip your fraction, if you have one. If you have something that is 3 over 5, it becomes 5 over 3. And I'll just write in parentheses flip fraction. So you might hear professors say this, or you might even see it in your instructions, but reciprocal would mean to flip a fraction if you have it. So in this case, when it says perpendicular to the slope which we have is 4, remember any whole number can be written as a fraction. So let's first find our slope because we know it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be 4. It would be the same if it's parallel. But because we're doing perpendicular, we have 4 over 1 and we need to transform this. So it's going to be the opposite sign, and I put it over 1 so it's easier for me to flip the fraction. Opposite sign, so we know it's now going to be negative. Reciprocal, so we flip a fraction. I wrote it over 1. Any whole number we can write over 1. And now I'm just going to flip it, so 1 is going on the top and 4 is going on the bottom. So my new slope for this equation, when I'm finding the equation of the line, it's going to be negative 1 over 4. Plugging that in to my equation, this m is now negative 1 over 4. Be careful not to take it the same exact one from the equation unless it says parallel. Perpendicular means it must satisfy both equations, not one or the other. So that's also important to note. And if you typed in just 1 over 4 without the negative, that's incorrect. Or if you just typed in negative 4, that's also incorrect. It has to be both the opposite sign and reciprocal. So now we just plug in also the points from our equation. Remember, this 1 is going to be x1, and the y will be y1. And that's just labeling. So plugging it in, y1 is 3, m is negative 1 over 4. X will be 1, x1 will be 1. And now we distribute negative 1 over 4. And add 3 to both sides, but let me do that in the next step. Whenever you're adding a whole number to a fraction, if you want to do it on the side, which you can also do, 1 over 4 plus 3. Remember, any whole number written over 1. Whenever we're adding fractions, you want to make sure that the denominators are the same. So because they're not the same denominators, we need to multiply this one times 4 to make them the same to the top and bottom. So now we have 1 over 4 plus 12 over 4, and that makes it easier to add the fractions. Once they're the same denominator, you can add the numerators. So 1 plus 12 would be 13 over 4. And because that's the operation I had to do here, add 3 to this side, that's now going to be what's left on this side of the equation. Once you have y isolated like we do here, this is your equation of the line and the answer to the question.